Okay. I wonder. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this space. My name is Alu, and I welcome you and invite you into tuning in with us to this channel of soul cultures. And so today is October 23rd, 2022 in the Gregorian calendar, and I want to begin by just calling in guidance from Spirit. And really, part of the essence of this channel and this attunement is wanting to bridge the physical and the spiritual so that the spiritual can manifest in this plane. And I think for most of my childhood growing up in a Christian household, I thought that the physical world was not sacred, and I thought that the sacred God spirituality was more unseen. And so it could be seen through if there were prayers answered or miracles that happened, it could be seen in that way. But I feel like there was a disconnect, and I feel like that's kind of been what's happened through colonization and really severing peoples from their sacred relationships with the landscape and the more than human world. And so I think that's why there's this separation between how people exploit the environment without realizing that they're also exploiting themselves. And so how can we bring that more into balance, starting with ourselves and then emanating out into systemic transformation? So thank you for being here with me. And I want to start first by acknowledging the lands that I'm on, the original stewards of the land since time immemorial, the Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute tribes, and many other tribes that travel and trade through these lands. And I invite you to also acknowledge the lands that you're on as we give thanks and ask. I ask to harmonize with this space and with the landscape that I carry in my being, that my ancestors came from, and this deep knowing of interconnectivity that they had before colonization, 1500 years ago, maybe even longer. But that is the deep knowing that I carry in my being, and I invite you to bring that awareness into your life too. And I ask that these ancient currents harmonize and come alive in this space, so that they can begin to have a space to materialize. And part of what we were talking about yesterday was opening space, clearing space for ecstatic emergence. And what is that? How do we do that within our beings so that we can hold that space as we engage with existence as well? And so I also just want to call in and invite in Divine Love Source Creator above and below, all my higher selves, all four corners of the world, spirit guides of my highest calling, complete ancestors, directions of my complete ancestors, and elements of my complete ancestors, to come into this space, fill this space with your love, as this space is also a portal for anybody and everybody tuning into this. I ask my spirit protectors to align my chakras to their most auspiciousness, and if there are any entities or beings in this space that are not aligned with that, may they be taken to a place towards their most auspiciousness, and may this space be sealed for the time that we're together. Alright, so I have a couple of decks here, and so I just invite any messages or guidance from Spirit, any messages for us and our collective and the collective, and our multiplicities of worlds within the universe. And beyond into languages of worldviews. I invite those into this space as well, as we are bringing soul cultures into our beings and into our relations. What is this? How does this show up? In new ways, in new imaginative, emerging ways. And part of it could be learning the language of our ancestors to be able to resonate and harmonize in a deeper, more embodied sense. And part of it could be imagining new language or receiving language from the ethers that is eternal. And between each other, how do we weave this together? Because we have descended from many different tribes all around the world, who were then assimilated and who now carry this story of how these systems of oppression have, I want to say, marked us, but I don't think that's really that seems detrimental And I think that my intention is to acknowledge where we are currently, to acknowledge for myself that many of my ancestors, all of my ancestors, as I have come into this existence, as I have come into being, were swallowed by whiteness. And so how do I contend with that while also opening space to allow the culture of my soul to emerge through my relationships that is beyond the confines and separation and individuality and hierarchy of whiteness. As I am holding this container for us to, and when I say us, I mean people whose ancestors have also been swallowed by whiteness, and also people of color who are also hungry for culture. If their lives have been sterilized by whiteness. I listened to an interview with Resma Menakem, and he was talking about white-bodied supremacy and then people of culture. And I appreciated how he is using the language of people of culture, because and also the language of white-bodied supremacy, because to me it feels like acknowledging that there are two different paradigms, I think, because the term people of culture is something valuable. It's something we can recognize value in and enrichment in. And white-bodied supremacy, to me, it's this delusion of supremacy, and also it's going to be present until it's not. So white-bodied people will carry that imposition until they don't. And so Resma was offering a suggestion for white-bodied people to create containers to create culture within those containers. And so that was a big inspiration for this space. And so there's, I think, a lot more for me to learn. And so I hope we can learn together. And also in this container, the word culture, to me, the action of creating culture is to cultivate something, to tend to something, to tend to my internal landscape as you tend to your internal landscape, and then we recognize how they come together, and how can we cultivate together through the emergence of our imagination in relation to our environments that we're around. So or that we are in, our environments that we are in. So here I am in this environment, and I'm feeling called for future recordings to go to different spaces and go to different landscapes. Is there any This is a card coming up right now. Simply Self. Ooh. So even if I'm in this same landscape right now, what is within my internal landscape? How do I tune into the intelligence of my entire being and body and express from that place? My feet, I sense my feet saying, wash it out. My knees saying, you can do it. My hips saying, what's wasted is not yours to find or reclaim. My stomach, we are here now. The inevitable is coming. The disaster of your mind knows that there are realms beyond what it knows. And there's more to be held and more to be felt in your heart, in your bosom, in your arms, that are the language beyond words, and the movement that you carry as you move through your arms reaching, your arms stretching, arms singing, arms saying, what is mine to carry? What is yours to carry? We will know in each moment. This card just came up, Passionate Ascension. Passionate Ascension. Ascending. What is ascension? Is it ascending out of this body, out of this world? Or is it recognizing the sentience in all inanimate and animate things? And also questioning, is what has been deemed inanimate actually inanimate? And what is the consciousness that it carries in the web? Of consciousness, of our interconnectivity. So, passionate ascension. Bringing ourselves to ascending, how to ascend with that knowing. If there are so many things coming against us in the stream of our experience, how do we stop? Can we just stop and stop until just stop and continue releasing, continue letting go of things unwanted until we're ready to receive exactly what our heart wants, because it knows. And what does that feel like? Even if it's not something in our mind, but the felt sense of what does it feel like? The spark of resonance within my entire being, what does that feel like? And we can pour as we connect to the earth and the cosmos. Can we pour that through the energy of our being? And steep in this until it becomes a flowing river. So I invite you to do that, to steep in this until it becomes a flowing river. You can feel that alive inside of you. I can feel that alive inside of me. Alright, that's all we have for today, for now, and I thank you for taking this time to dive into the landscape of our soul cultures with each other as we weave this through our awareness. May it become denser as it materializes in our worlds. So thank you. Thank you.